Hi, everybody. I had some questions. A message was sent to me about some questions on prompt 3 on fold. I did some changes as well, and I was going to show you the changes to prompt 3, and it worked out a lot better once I thought about it. See, when I did the fold prompt 3 challenge, something popped into my head. I'd never done it before. This is what occurs with me, and so I was just working along, thinking about what I wanted to do and how I was going to accomplish it. And I had a string here. If you saw the video for prompt 3, I had a string here by itself, and it was not going to be able to be tight enough to hold this particular piece into place as flat as I wanted to hold it. So after I had a little bit of time to think about it, I got something like a belly band. This is cardstock. Put some washi tape over it. Put some eyelets in so that it would support the string, and simply threaded the string through. And now it holds my picture piece in place, holds it flat, more secure, works so much better. And it looks good too. It looks fabulous as far as the way we left it, the way I left it last night, and what I have right now with this in place. I also added the prompt in a tiny little pocket there for fold, but I'll show you in detail what I mean about how this was put together. It's simply we had the threads already in place, the ribbon already in place, and I made this just like a belly band. Put washi tape around it, and it's gold, has some gold, shiny gold in the washi tape, so it's really striking against this particular picture. And if you haven't seen the video, I'll go ahead and show you what the fold is supposed to be about. I took and I'll the first part of the video was corrupt, and so I didn't get to show you how I came up with what I started with on the video last night, which was already this image that had been placed on the folded piece of paper. And I glued two pieces of 8.5 by 11 papers together, folded it, and then uh, uh, put this, placed this in a certain way on top of it so I could work with it. But this is what the fold part is for this project. And so we'll fold her back up so that she is back together again. Now she's back together again. And we simply slide our band back down the ribbons, and it will hold her in place nice and flat, because without that board, it was a lot of flexibility, and the strings were pulling on the paper where she is mounted at, and I wasn't satisfied with that either. So I just had to have a little bit of time to think about, how to secure it better. So now it holds it nice and flat, and it looks beautiful. I love the way it looks. That was just a plain sheet of paper that I first put her on as well. So I reinforced that piece of paper with a piece of cardstock. It's not very heavy cardstock, but it's a lot thicker than what it was. How I started it out was simply taking, after I folded the first 8.5 by 11 piece of paper, and this is just some scrap paper, After I folded the first piece, I knew I would have to glue two pieces together and keep folding to get enough length to put my picture on top. It's staggered fold. And actually, I was doing it like this. I was pulling it up like that, so I could see my overlapping part. And so I just stair stepped it down as I went, as I folded, and pull up. And I would go about a half inch below the crease, and do another fold, and then pull up and have another fold about a half inch under the last fold, like that. And so then you have folds that step down. It goes down your page. And so I simply just continued and added two sheets of paper together, because that only went that far. And so I needed another sheet of paper to continue folding to fit this picture. After I got the folds done, now just imagine, you use your imagination. I had the two pieces of paper all folded up and all of that. I took my, let's see if I can find a picture. I'll just fold this in half. Eventually, it'll probably be cut out and used. This is one of our paper intervals, beautiful Victorian sketches that we have of Victorian women to use, print out and use. In junk journals. So what I did was I had the piece of paper, had the picture, and since I didn't want to glue it, if you just glued it on top and tried to cut through, if you glued it all the way across, you'd have a lot of trouble trying to find the edge and, get this cut to where it would be nice and smooth. And that's what I was doing. So what I did was I just took some Fabrifix and did the smallest, tiniest, close to the edge, one line of glue all the way down. And then I put the picture on top of it. So it was only held by that one strip of glue over here. And then what I was doing, when you saw me, massaging the paper and then running my finger down, and it took a pretty good while. It was about 5 minutes per strip of paper. What I was doing was I was feeling for the edge, and using my fingernails. And I'm sorry if you don't have long fingernails like I do, because it just made it easier. You could use a creasing tool. And I felt for the edge and was pressing down, following the edge, giving myself a crease to then use my fussy cutting scissors and carefully cut in between. Then I would take the strip and lay it down on this piece of paper, of which I had put stamps on it and stenciled all over it and made it a real pretty backdrop, which I knew would be in between the lady's picture after it was cut. And so when I did the crease, now remember this was glued with that one tiny strip of glue there. When I finally did get to cut it, and it was a loose strip, I would glue it down to that exact strip that it was covering, right in line. And so I did that with each one all the way down to where I would cut the strip and then glue it down on the corresponding fold that was underneath. And so that one strip of picture is glued to that piece of paper now. So when you stretch it out, everything else that was not showing would now show. that was either stenciled or stamped or drawn on the supporting base page. And that part got cut out. The file became corrupt. I lost that first part of the process. But that's where we picked up where I had the picture that was adhered with the strip. And it was ready. It was time to start feeling for the edge of the folds and then cutting it apart with some very fine scissors. And then I went the extra step and figured out how to make our finished picture lay down a lot tighter, a lot better, so that it looks like a good solid picture while it's not being extended, written on, because if I were doing it for a journal for someone to journal in, I would either do extremely light stenciling or just a few stamps. It would not be fully decorated, and a heavy stencil like I did for the background for this particular picture. And that will catch you up for prompt number 3. Thanks for checking in. Bye.